Recording in progress.
This video is about finding intercepts. And this is on the IB Applications and Interpretation Standard level. So the first one says plot each function and reflect it in the line y is equal to x to find the inverse function. Write down the equation of the inverse function in each case. Okay, let's start off by plotting the function. It's x cubed plus 3. And that's what the function looks like. You can adjust your view window to kind of show you this. We can do 10 here. And you can count and choose. That part is fine. Gives you a wider view that you can kind of see exactly where the x and y intercepts are without having to do anything. But you can also go to GSolve and go to y-intercept, and it'll be able to show you your y-intercept is at 0, 3. And for your x-intercepts, you can go to root, and it can show you your x-intercept is at 0, -1. So that's the graph. And then to find the inverse, we're going to do this. So your function takes x and cubes it, and then it adds 3. And that's f of x, right? This is f of x. So if you want to find the inverse, you're going to have to do this in reverse now. So we're going to take x, subtract 3, that gives you x minus 3. Then the inverse of cubing is to find the cube root, right? Find the cube root, that would be cube root of x minus 3. So what we're saying here is the inverse is going to be cube root of x minus 3. And you can put that on your calculator. It's the cube root. And that's x minus 3. Okay, so that's what the two graphs will look like on here. We just need to shift that view window for the y-axis, so it kind of shows more numbers there. Let's see what it will look like. Yeah, that's way better. Looks way better. And so you would be required to draw this on your calculator. I mean, without on a graphing paper without a calculator. So please learn that the only points you need to get accurately are your intercepts, and you need to always label your graphs. So just remember this is f of x, right? And then this was the inverse of x, and that's how you can make sure you secure those marks. So and how do you know this is reflected in the line y is equal to x? If you were to draw the line y is equal to x, which kind of goes like this. I'm trying to draw it, but yeah. There, that's the line y is equal to x. You can see that these two graphs meet at that line. So we have done it as the question asks. So for the other two, I won't make the graphs. I'll just show how to find the inverse. So again, 6b, it says you take x, you cube it, and that gives you x cubed, right? And then you multiply it by 4. So that's 4x cubed. That's f of x. So to find x inverse, we're going to go the other way. First, we do the inverse of multiplying by 4, which is to divide by 4. So it would be x divided by 4. Then we do the inverse of a cube, which is cube root. And then that's cube root of x over 4. So that's your inverse. It's the cube root of x divided by 4. Then the other function was 2x cubed plus 1. So you take x, then multiply it or cube it, get x cubed, then multiply it by 2, you get 2x cubed, and then add 1. So that's 2x cubed plus 1. So to undo that, we're going to have to take x, subtract 1, then divide it by 2, then cube root. So that's the inverse. The inverse for that function is going to be the cube root of x minus 1 divided by 2. So that's B and C. You can try graphing them and seeing whether they really do meet at a line y is equal to x, and that would be that for question 6. Then question 7 says, sketch the graph off. So I'm going to go back here and just delete this other 2 graphs. Okay, we're going to sketch the graph of x cubed. Minus 6x squared plus 3x plus 10. Okay. And that's the graph that we have. I think I need to expand my view window a little bit, just maybe make it 15. And make that 15. Oh no, that's not all. I wanted to change the y, especially the y. Sorry about that. We can keep this as 10 and keep that as 10. Keeps doing that. Why? I don't know. But the ones I wanted to change to 15 are these two. So negative 15, 15. Okay. Now you have the whole graph in view. Okay. Then to find your intercepts, you're going to go on your calculator, go to for the x-intercept on a Casio, it says root. So that's I don't know what it's doing every time I click it twice. Sorry about that. That's negative 1, 0. That's 2, 0. And 5, 0. Then the y-intercepts are here. That's 0, 10. Then it says find the coordinates of the vertices. So again, you go to your calculator, you look for the maximum and the minimum. So the maximum is at 0.27 and y coordinates is 10.4. I am rounding off, and the minimum is at 3.7 and negative 10.4. So that's the maximum and the minimum. Says write down the coordinates of the point of rotational symmetry. Rotational symmetry happens if your maximum and minimum have the same coordinates. So it's going to be the midpoint of them, midpoint of your maximum and minimum. So what we do is we know for a fact that the y coordinate is going to be 0 because we say that these two numbers are each other's reflection. So their midpoint is definitely at 0. It's like you're up there and you're down there. The middle point will be at 0. So we'll go to the calculator and look for the x coordinates when we know that y is 0. So that's this one, the one that's between your maximum and your minimum. It's 2, 0. Then they said the graph, and remember they said write down. So again, it's something you're not supposed to work out. When it says write down, you don't have to work anything out. So that's why I just used the graph. Then D says the graph is reflected in the y-axis, write down the new equation. So when it's reflected in the y-axis, it creates an equation that puts negative x in the place of x. Just like how reflecting it through the line y is equal to x reversed every operation that was used, reflecting it in the y-axis replaces x with negative x. So now we would say negative x cubed minus 6 negative x squared plus 3 times negative x plus 10. And so some of the signs change here. And that would be the inverse function that we're talking about. So let me so this is our graph. And now we're going to graph its inverse. We say the inverse would be negative x cubed minus 6x squared minus 3x plus 10. And you can clearly see that it's reflected in the y-axis, right? Because it looks like itself, but reflected, like it's facing itself, and the mirror in between them is the y-axis. And you can see that that's also where they intersect, right? So that's okay, thank you for watching this video. See you next time.